feet. Touchdown, Ravens!
What a play by the Ravens. It's going to result in a touchdown.
Play action. Pass is caught. That's going to be a first down for the Ravens.
40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Ravens. And the crowd goes wild.
All right, welcome back to the Play Action Podcast. This is Season 4, Episode 3. I'm your host, wide receivers coach, Lamont Johnson.
Hey, Coach, Jonathan Coddington. It's good to be back. Good to have some of our guys on the podcast, today as well. Excited to dive into a little bit more of, just kind of our team dynamics, introduce some of our family leaders, just kind of talk a little bit about what we do as a team.
Yeah, no, these guys, it's good to see some guys in the family leader role for the first time, some guys back in that role again, and, they get a better chance to do it this time.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys are excited for this and, kind of compete within their families like they do during the off season and take advantage of just opportunities to kind of build relationships.
Yep, and without a doubt, I think the relationships is one of the number one things that we prioritize as a program. Is just so important for us to not only have good football players here, but have good teammates. It's obviously, leads to a lot of success, as well too. And so there is a lot of reason to be able to do these team bonding activities, to be able to pour into our leaders so that then they can turn around and then go pour into their teammates and really just elevate our entire team as a whole.
Yeah, no, and it goes beyond football because, the time that's spent within the small groups, they're developing skills that can pour into their families, their friendships, and those type of relationships that they have outside of the program. So it's good to see those guys grow and develop some of the skills and even just grow as men and watch those bonds get deeper and deeper. And through some of the family stuff on campus, we've been having some opportunities to get involved a little bit more outside in the community, doing some canned foods, packaging and stuff at the local school here that's kind of affiliated with the church. So it's kind of good to see guys take some time and kind of roll up their sleeves and kind of spend some time in the community that supports them.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think anytime we can, go out and serve the greater community, it's really doing two things. It's helping people in need, and it's also just creating that opportunity for our guys to bond, together even more. So, yeah, it's been great seeing them, whether it is going out and, working at the food pantries, whether it's, just going and doing some of our fundraiser activities as well, too, working, Monster Jam. We got NFL Combine coming up that we're working, those events. I think the amount of times that, hey, those are cool events to go and watch, and not only do our guys get to watch them, they get to work together and then have more conversations with teammates that maybe they wouldn't have had we not, been on that trip together.
Yeah, and it's like some guys kind of just see it as, I got to go work Monster Jams. But once they get there, they go through the day and it's like, dang, so how was your shift? Oh, it was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed the show, but also got to talk to this guy who I didn't even know his name. Right?
Yep.
I didn't even know that we had this in common. And it's cool to hear some of the stories that kind of comes back from the fundraising or even just being involved and kind of seeing what little thing that you may think is so minor and minute, but it means so much more to somebody else. So it's kind of cool to see that and have our guys be a part of it.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we talked about last week, we talked to some of our defensive and specialists, family leaders. This week we get a chance to talk with some of our offensive family leaders. It's been cool to hear from each of those guys in what they're doing on their own with their families. Like, that's been cool. It's been far beyond just, what we're doing as a team. Yes, as a team, we're going to the food bank. We're going to, these other events. We're doing stuff, here on campus together, even, having the guys over to my house together, some more team-oriented ones. But then to see these guys split off and do the game nights as families to, in the family meetings, have these great conversations. And, really, it seems like these guys are taking some great ownership in leading their small group, their family, and then getting to know maybe some guys that they weren't as close with, leading up to this.
Yeah, no, and I think that, during our time here, this is the most active these guys have been in the off season with each other without us, kind of assigning these activities, which has been good, which is all great signs. A lot of the family leaders are some guys who've been a part of our program for 4 years now. So those guys have had a lot of experience of being a family leader and knowing what it takes and what things should look like when you're a part of the AU Ravens. So I'm excited to see, what else these guys kind of have in store as we continue to go through the offseason and kind of see what overall growth we, continue to grow into.
Yeah, most definitely. You mentioned the 4-year guys, Carson and PY that have been with us from the very beginning. They were a part of our first recruiting class here, and now we get to see them into their senior years. We'll talk to, Luke, who transferred into us, is going into his senior year as well, too. Caleb, who's a sophomore for us. Obviously all guys on the offensive side of the ball, guys that you were a big part of the recruiting process for, guys that you work with, quite a bit on a daily basis. Tell us a little bit about kind of what impresses you about those 4.
Oh man, well, I'll kind of start with Caleb Vetter. So Caleb, he's a quarterback. He's a guy who shows up every day prepared, ready to go. He kind of knows the playbook at the coach's level. Kind of looks for any errors and kind of catches some things. But he's gonna be out there leading the guys, whatever group that he's working with, and whether it's on the field or off the field, he's going to be present. And he's a guy who is actively involved in the recruiting process, for us, when it comes to hosting guys. So he's been doing a great job all around the board, just being a part of our team. And then, when we talk about Luke, again, another quarterback, we brought in Luke as a transfer quarterback, and other quarterbacks may, see that as an issue. But again, Caleb Vetter, he now has an upperclassman in front of him who he can learn from, kind of shadow, and they both could kind of mentor each other and learn from each other with, being in the offense at different times. But very excited to see what Luke kind of does for us this year with this last year coming up, especially being banged up after last season. Definitely not the way that we wanted things to go. But again, he was still present every day throughout the season, leading not only his quarterbacks but leading our entire team. Being in the middle of the huddle, in the sling, definitely shows that he's all in and he values what we're about and what we're doing here at AU, being a transfer. Then Carson, Carson, he's a guy who picked up 60 pounds, 50, 60 pounds since he's been here. Been a Swiss Army knife for us, for being very versatile in our offense and effective in our offense at multiple positions, and just continue to lean into that ability with him. Really excited to see what he does his senior year, taking advantage with some of the other opportunities that's opening up with us graduating some seniors in our offense. And then with Preston, PY, the Amish Promise, I'm excited for this guy. Just me personally, I coach the receivers, I work with receivers. This is the first guy that I've been with from freshman to senior year. So I'm excited for him to officially pop and have the year that he's been hoping for since he's been here. He works really hard. He does a great job with leading our guys, not just on the football field, but in Bible studies and in the community, and just being present. He's a guy who anybody can go to on both sides of the ball, and the guys know that, and he has a great way of just connecting with everybody on the team. So I'm excited for those guys to kind of pour into some of the freshmen we got coming in and the other guys within their families. I'm also for all of those guys, just to go back and play football again this season.
Yeah, without a doubt. Definitely 4 guys, along with the 4 guys that we talked to last week that, really embody the standards that we set as a program, and that's really part one in being a leader is you have to not just set the standard, but then be the standard as well too. And so that's kind of where that platform starts. And we talked about this in our team meeting. As we do kind of some leadership development with the entire team. You have that platform. Maybe you've been given a title now, like what these guys have, but in reality, that's kind of the baseline, almost the lowest level of leadership. How do you grow in your leadership? Well, it's a lot about just building relationships. It's people don't just follow you because they have to, because you're the family leader, you're the captain, you're the boss, you're this, but they follow you now because they want to, because you've built that relationship. And I think being able to hear from all of these guys over the past couple weeks as they kind of talk about the relationships being super important, the brotherhood that they've got within their families, within the team itself, the amount of effort that they've put into building relationships kind of with each of these guys before they ask them or tell them to do anything. It's, hey, let me get to know you and let's be close and let's have this relationship before before we get started, I think that's been, just great to see the relational investment that these guys have had with their teammates.
Yeah, no, and just taking advantage of the multiple opportunities in different ways to establish those relationships. Understanding that you'll have to meet certain guys in different areas to kind of get them to go just one step to catch up. And through our weekly meetings and the meetings they have with you, they're continuing to learn the different styles and different methods and different ways to connect and to get those guys to follow.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and something that then will spill into the next part of life, whether, we got some of these guys that are going to go into coaching, and then they've got to be able to build those relationships with their players. Some guys that are going to go on and they're going to be, high-level, bosses at their place of work, that they've got employees that they're going to have to build those relationships with to be able to lead. Even you talk about in the relationships with your family, whether it's with a spouse, with kids, with, extended family, brothers, sisters, parents, cousins, uncles, building those relationships really is the foundation to be able to have that influence, be able to lead well, and then kind of that next step of being able to, produce. And for us, obviously, in football, it's, that on-field production just continues to give you more and more opportunities where eyes are going to be on you. But I think what's cool, even right now in the offseason, some of that production is seen in the weight room. How hard are guys working? Are they moving around a lot of weight? Are they a guy that it's like they turn heads when kind of they're lifting weights? Can you produce in that way when we get on the practice field? Are they making plays? Are they, being able to, do things well for the team? And ultimately, obviously, game day as well, too. The more production you can have that can do well for the team, the more opportunity and influence then that you're going to have with your teammates.
Yeah, and I personally think, that's one of the fastest ways to gain that influence, to have somebody want to follow you, is the production, whether it's on the clash or production and praise, because you could get the production on the field, and people see that, see you at practice working hard, see you in the weight room working hard, so they can see what it takes, but, and I say the praise because they might not see you kicking butt, being an academic weapon in the classroom, getting 3.8. Guys might not see that, but they see you getting invited to the championship club dinner, for having a certain GPA.
Yep.
So from there, okay, what do I got to do that now? And then that kind of forms, another opportunity for guys to establish a relationship and then also establish the opportunity to use your influence to help teach this person better study habits. So I think that's the ultimate gain with being within these small groups is everybody gets that opportunity to kind of influence the group and kind of use what they're good at, for a good. And once they realize that, that's when they start to reap the fruit, I feel, and I think that's one of the, joys of the game, is we have opportunities to help establish and sharpen those skills with not only leadership but communication and relationship building.
Yep, and with that, you kind of get into that, next level of leadership that we talk about. Can you help develop other people? Then now you've done this really well. You've achieved your high GPA. You've produced in the classroom. Can you now turn around and help somebody else raise their grades and produce and study the right way and take tests better and that type of stuff? On the field, you've produced. You've got the stats to back it up. You impact the game this way. Can you now turn and get that person next to you to also learn the playbook, learn the technique, develop and get better to do the same thing? Now your amount of influence just continues to grow as, not only am I looking at you because you do things well, man, I'm coming to you because it's like, I've seen you help this guy get better. Man, I want a piece of that as well too. Can you help me to be able to improve in those ways? And just, being able to help these guys build that leadership platform that, again, it's for the benefit of our team right now. Like we're trying to get this team better. The better leaders we have, the faster this thing's going to move.
Yep.
And at the same time, as we talk about what our mission is to develop these guys as champions for now, but also for life later on, just to where they're going to be able to help, produce and be people developers in their lives, much beyond football, is definitely a great thing just to start to see those steps that these guys are taking.
Yeah, no, that's a true measure of the success too is, how many guys can we get going in the same direction? That says a lot, because you're not only able to process the information and, teach yourself, but it says a lot when you can teach somebody else and pour into the next person.
Without a doubt. Well, I'm excited to talk with this, group of leaders today. Let's go ahead and hop into the show with them. All right. Well, welcome back to our segments where we've got some of our family leaders joining us on the podcast. This time we get to welcome Carson. Carson, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to have you in front of the camera. Normally, over the past couple of years, you've spent a lot of time behind the camera helping us, produce these. We're excited to hear from you a little bit.
Yeah, that's a lot of time I've spent behind that camera.
Without a doubt.
Lots and lots of time.
So tell us about yourself.
So I'm from Springport, Indiana, and I grew up around this area most of my life because I went to Shenandoah High School. I've been here all 4 years, which I'm very happy to say that I didn't transfer out or quit on this program. I love this program, love the guys that are here, and it means a lot to me.
Good. So you said you're now about to start your 4th year here, and you've been a family leader before. All right. So what does it mean to you being a family leader on our team?
I think it's a real honor. I think it's nice that the coaches see that value in you and your leadership, and they think you can reach other guys on our teams who otherwise wouldn't be heard or don't go out of their way to make their presence known. So I think it's just nice to get their perspectives. I know I was blessed to have a couple guys in my family that I haven't had a chance to get a real relationship with. Mm-hmm. So, and we got family game night tonight, so it's going to be fun.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. What games are we playing?
Tonight is Wii Sports. So
there we go.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, wonderful. So, you were a part of our very first recruiting class. You've been here with us the entire time. It seems like in some ways that time has flown by. It also seems like, boy, it has taken a long time to get here as well, too. How have you changed personally from the time you stepped into the program to who you are now?
Well, I gained 60 pounds. So
Yay!
that helps. But this place helped me come out of my shell. I'd say I was pretty introverted when I first got here as a freshman and just didn't know if I belonged. I was sitting there, got told my whole life that I wasn't going to be able to play college football at a successful level. So sitting that in the back of my head and then starting off with an 0-10 season is not how you want to go. But growing here, meeting the guys, and actually producing on the field sometimes it changes you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and I could say for me, it's great to see your growth over the years, not just on the scale, but on the football field, and just how far you came as an athlete. So throughout your time here, how would you describe the difference of our team chemistry compared to your high school team?
My high school team, it was more your class is social with you. So, I was really close with my guys. I tried to extend further, but a lot of those younger guys don't want to hear that from the old senior who's about to leave.
Yeah.
And I feel like here we have great relationships from freshman all the way to senior, and I feel like we're really close as a team.
Yeah, I feel like there's still that little piece of the freshmen being stubborn to the upperclassmen when they get here. Some guys thinking, oh, I'm a 1,000-yard guy. I just, all state. I'm coming in and ball out, and then they had their welcome to college football moment during fall camp, and it kind of humbled them up. So, but that's good though.
Yeah, for sure. Now you've obviously seen a lot of guys, over the course of the 3 going into 4 years coming into the program. Some guys that were able to stick around along with you, some guys that couldn't make it. What's a type of person, player, or teammate that thrives here and can do really well?
Just the guys who are open to criticism and are willing to put in the work. A lot of the guys who have left think they're too good for this place and just don't want to put in that extra effort. But if you want to thrive here, you need to be willing to put in that work and be open to learning more, because you can always learn something new.
Yeah, without a doubt. There's really no magic to it. That's what it takes.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. So being a part of this team, you mentioned how many different type of guys been a part of this team that you've seen come in and out of the doors. What's been the hardest part, being a leader on this team and kind of getting us to where we are now? What has been the hardest thing so far?
Hardest part is being a leader. Everybody looks to you. So everybody has bad days, good or bad days, but it doesn't matter as a leader. You got to show up every day, giving it your all. You can't take that day off. As not being a leader, you might be able to get by with it a little bit, but as a leader, the focus is on you, and you got to lock in all the time.
I agree, man. I agree. Every dog has their days.
So what are some of those standards or non-negotiables that you have to embody as a leader in our program? What does it take to be a Raven?
You just got to give it your all, everything you can. We don't accept laziness here, and I don't think we should anymore. Get those guys out, and we're pushing forward with or without you.
So being a part of the team, you talked about what it takes, working hard, showing up every day, and have a will to grow and to be developed and coached. How much ownership do you guys as players really have on this team?
I think most of the guys take a big pride in that. I feel like a lot of us are willing to get better and willing. That's why they're sticking around. We get more and more guys every year sticking around. I think that just shows how our program is rising.
Yeah, and I think it's good. And the sooner you guys realize that it's not just us, it's not just our team, it's your guys' team too. So that's good. You guys holding each other accountable, pushing that standard.
So within your family group of, those 7 or 8 guys that you're in charge of, that's your family. What do you want to be known for as your family, or maybe what are some unique things, that you want to do kind of with your small group?
To be known as, I just want to be that guy that they can come to when they're feeling down. I've been here for 4 years, so I know a lot about the program. I know a lot about how you guys react to things and know a lot about the system. So if there's any questions there, love to answer that. And things we do unique, I'm just trying to get the guys together once or twice a week so we can hang out, get to know each other, because I know a lot of guys, when they get in a family, they're like, oh, I'm not with my best friends. And just I want to build that bond just so we can get all the team together at some points and just everybody be family.
Everybody be best friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we are very thankful for everything you've done over the course of these 3 years, and really helping to move our program in the right direction. Excited for your role as a leader, to see you continue to grow on the field, just in the locker room, and help to continue to take us, to new heights this year. All right. Well, we're welcoming Luke to this segment of the podcast. Luke, welcome.
Glad to be here. I think it's my second or third time on here.
Yep.
But to introduce myself, Luke Manning from Nashville, Tennessee. I play quarterback. And hello, Mom.
Well, welcome to the team, man. This is officially the start of your second year with you being a spring transfer. You want to kind of just talk just a little bit about that year and how it's been here so far?
Yeah. So, like you said, I've been here for 1 full year now. And being here has changed my view and just changed me as a person a lot, with the coaches and the support staff, and really just the university as a whole. The educational program, the professors, advisors, everybody has been so kind and made the transfer really easy, and just made things, made feel welcome.
Yeah, oh, that's good. And with you being here, being a quarterback, you were also one of our team captains this year. But with being a team captain and being a quarterback, I feel like being a leader is part of that position. But for you, what does it mean for you to kind of be in a leadership role and be a leader of our team?
Like you said, I think being a quarterback comes with the territory. I think being a quarterback, you put yourself in that position to be a leader, whatever it looks like. It doesn't have to be a rah-rah guy. It doesn't have to be big motivation. It just, you have to lead by example. Everybody looks up to you. If you're doing the wrong thing, if you're slacking off, then how do you expect the team to kind of follow or rally behind you if you're not doing things right?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Absolutely. So how has, being a family leader, a leader on our team, how has that impacted you beyond football?
So as a young kid, my dad, every time he would drop me off for school, he would tell me, be a leader, not a follower. And so that's something that I carry with me and have carried with me up to this point and hopefully beyond this point. And so be prepared to, work with all types of people, all different backgrounds, all different types, and just have that experience.
Yeah, and you being from Tennessee, I think you come from a well diverse area. Being from Nashville. So for you, when you're in this leadership role and there's an accountability piece, what does that look like, or what does that sound like? When you're within your team, within your family, how does that accountability piece look like or come out from you?
Yeah, I think making sure guys understand what the standard is, and setting that base level and setting that floorboard of this is where we got to be, and we're open to go beyond that, but the very minimum is this. Mm-hmm. You show up on time, you do what's asked, and then we build from there.
Yep. So. Yeah, no, that's huge, and having that accountability piece, that's what's going to get us moving the needle in the right direction.
Yeah. So to stay on kind of that same topic about the standards, obviously, you as a leader have to embody all of the standards, first and foremost, though we need everybody on the team to be able to do that. What are some ways that you've kind of gone about enforcing standards with your teammates? Maybe if somebody falls short, or just to make sure that they're doing that on a regular basis, how do you do that?
Yeah, I think it's about relationships first, and understanding you got to build a connection with the guys before you tell somebody what to do. Some people you don't have to do that, but with the majority of people, that helps with the way they listen to you. And so building relationships starts off first, and then when they see you and understand, like, you have that connection with them, they see you doing the things right, and then say they're slacking, and then they'll receive criticism and or picking them up and holding them to that standard a whole lot better, and it comes from a place of love and reasoning rather than just like you're not doing it right.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, kind of talking about building relationships, we do a lot of things behind the scene, and I feel like that's one of the things that people don't get to see, when it comes to being a part of the football team, is that part of it, just establishing their relationships, all the time we spent doing activities. What's something that you do within your family weekly, or, whenever you guys get a chance to meet? What's something that you do?
Yeah, I just try to send them the verse of the day on the Bible app. Like, I send that in the group chat every day. Most of the guys read it, and I'm not making them read it, obviously, but I send it in there, and it's a good way to start their day and start the week and everything. So that's something that I've been trying to do.
Yeah, dropping that little reminder in there that God's always there.
That's right.
Yeah, that's cool. So, in college football, in reality, each team is different. The 2025 Ravens, different than the 26 Ravens. Yes. Obviously, you were a part of a different program even before coming here as well, too. What's something that you've seen so far, this offseason? And obviously, we're young into the year with this new team. But what's something you've seen in this team that's made it different or unique or special?
I think, just the numbers in general that have showed back up and, wanted to be a part of it and chosen to be a part of the program, especially in the spring. I think you said, this is some of them, like the most people that we've had in spring in a long time. Yep. And so I think that speaks volumes by itself. And then what those people are doing, they want to push this thing in the right direction, and they want to get better. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah, definitely evident in the amount of obviously guys showing up to the things that are mandatory, but then even in the extra work that you guys are getting in together, that's all driven by you guys, not driven by us. Right. That's been great to see.
Sure.
So, and kind of going back to the leadership topic, being a leader on a team, being a family leader on our team, you spend some time with Coach Coddington quite a bit, on the leadership council, all right, with the meetings and everything. Throughout the meetings of last year, this year, what are some things that kind of stuck out to you from those meetings, through some of the leadership styles that you've been studying together?
Yeah, I think it's kind of understanding the type of leader that you are, and then starting there, and then trying to get past that a little bit, trying to do the uncomfortable, because that's how you grow, is getting uncomfortable, and so gradually stepping into that uncomfortable, and then getting more comfortable in that, and just taking that next step as a leader yourself.
Yeah, no, I think that's a huge piece of being a leader, is figuring out who you are and what type of leader you want to be, because don't nobody want a copycat, nobody want a pump faker. You guys sniff that out real easy, within each other, within coaches. So number one thing is be yourself as you try to be a leader.
Definitely.
Noted.
So as you kind of, go forward and, lead our team and, a variety of different, types of guys, what's the type of guy that might struggle here? What's the type of guy that you don't want as a teammate in our program?
Yeah, I think selfish guys that are in it for themselves, guys that are just wanting to get film and get out. That's not what this place needs. That's not what this place wants. We want a player that is here for the program, wanting to, again, like we said, get this thing off the ground and get it moving in the right direction. And so selfish guys that are here for themselves, that's not what we're looking for. That's not what we want. That's not helpful. Yeah, don't come here if you're like that. Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate you coming here and, just hopping right in and serving and, being about the exact thing you just said of, helping move our team in the right direction. We're thankful for you. Excited to have a great season with you. We're continuing, kind of this segment of the podcast where we talk to some of our family leaders. In this segment, we've got Caleb with us. Caleb, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here. I'm Caleb Vetter. I'm a quarterback, sophomore. I've been here for both years, and I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Well, Caleb, let's start with what does it mean to you to be a family leader?
Being a family leader here, it means that you're trusted, for one, just because you guys are the ones picking who gets to do this, which means it's a huge opportunity to be trusted by you guys. And then we have the opportunity to lead small groups of people on our team. I get to know those people now and grow with them and build my relationship with them specifically, which is great.
That's awesome. Now, what skills have you gained since being in this role? And I know this is kind of you've been in it for now about a month or so. It's going to continue to grow over time. But what have you learned, or how have you grown so far?
I mean, I've grown a lot in my leadership, obviously, but then confidence comes with that too. I'm willing to be more outgoing, and it helps me with them. Obviously, my group, I get to be outgoing and build my relationships with them, and then also translates to my actual life too, with like my relationships outside of just this team. I get to grow there too.
Yeah, that's great. And definitely, obviously we continue to talk on a daily basis on why we do the things we do in our program to develop, obviously, on the field and help our program out, but to help you become the best you could be in the rest of life as well too. And it's obviously great when we get to see those things intersect.
And being a part of these small groups, you got guys from different positions, different side of the ball. You naturally spend a little bit more time with the offensive guys, being the quarterback. But how do you go about handling conflict within your family?
So we just talk it out. For the most part, any conflict's just small conflict with each other. So they'll kind of get it out of their system, and then everybody makes up afterwards. Any bigger conflict, I mean, we have 7 people there, so we always work through it if there's any major issues. Worst case, we can take it to a coach, but we haven't had that issue yet, so just talking through it.
If you guys can handle a lot of stuff, that makes the world a lot easier. So that's great. So what happens when somebody, maybe whether it's in your family group or not, what happens if someone doesn't live up to one of the standards we have set as a football program?
I mean, we just do our best to hold them accountable. Whether it's in the weight room, we'll make sure that they're getting the best work they can, and if we see them cheating themselves, we're going to call them out on it to make sure that they're doing better. We go out, we do work on the field too separately, and we're making sure people are out there. If they don't come out there, we're going to let them know we didn't see them out there and try to get them to put in that work too. So it's just about keeping each other accountable and holding ourselves to that standard too.
Yeah, and with holding yourselves accountable and pushing the standard, there's that component is looking out for each other, holding each other accountable. But when you notice a guy is starting to struggle, whether it's on the field or off the field, physically, mentally, how do you go about approaching or being there and showing that family member that you're here to support them?
Yeah, I say it starts with before they even have the issue. I mean, I do my best to let them know that they can come and talk to me anytime on or off the field. So then I hope that they would come and tell me, and then if I see that issue too, I'll approach them and talk to them. If it's something going on with football, I'll try to work through that with them too. And then anything personal is on the table. I mean, I'll happily go and help them with anything they have going on.
Now, you've over, kind of the 2 years being here, you've helped us out in the recruiting process, a little bit, whether it's getting to know, talking to recruits. You even helped bring a couple of guys, that you're younger from you that played, with you back in Cincinnati. When you talk with guys that want to be a part of our team, why should someone want to join us? What makes this team, something that would be desirable?
I said this team's just kind of a family. I mean, we all have relationships with each other. Some are stronger than others, but everybody on this team, for the most part, gets along. So I'd say if you join here, you're going to have brothers for the rest of your life, no matter what.
So being in the leadership role as a family leader, you meet with Coach Coddington weekly with some leadership council work. Being on that committee, what are some things that you've taken away that you felt that has kind of helped you be an effective family leader?
I mean, it's like I said before, there's a trust component. I know I have the trust of my coaches if I'm a family leader, so there's always that I can fall back on, which then just allows me to be able to go out and be myself, because I know that's who they trust me to be when I'm with these people as a family leader. So I have all the confidence in the world from you guys allowing me to do that.
Yeah, trust goes a long way.
Absolutely. Now we spend obviously a lot of time on the football, right? And as we get into kind of our spring ball season, we'll kind of kick back up the meetings, the film, the practices, things like that. A lot of time gets invested into football, right? But at some point, football ends for all of us. When that ends, what's left? What remains?
So afterwards, it's like I said before, we're a family, so we have those relationships for the rest of our lives. When there's stuff going on around here, when it's off season like right now, we're all still together all the time. We get dinner, lunch, whatever it is. The other day, a few of us went out and played spike ball. We're all a family, so I think even after football, we'll still all be together.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, definitely great to have, those meaningful relationships that are going to last. So, well, Caleb, we appreciate you being with us today. We're thankful that you're here, thankful for the role that you're in with our program. Really excited to continue to see you grow and develop both on and off the field this year.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, well, we're continuing our segment of having some of our family leaders on the podcast. Here in this segment, we've got Preston. Preston, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, great to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Preston Yoder. I'm a junior going into my senior year. I'm a receiver here, and I'm from small town Wahonding, Ohio. It's East Central Ohio, pretty much. I also like to call it Amish country, pretty much. I do have Amish background, so in case all of you wonder, I am not Amish. So.
So, and the nickname on the team is the Amish Promise. So,
Yeah.
Sounds like a well-liked guy. So, being a family leader, how do you think that you were selected to be a family leader? Like, why do you think we chose you to be a family leader?
Honestly, I think I should be asking you guys that question. But I guess it's just kind of the character I am. I'm always being myself. I've always been a leader by example. I know I've talked to both of you coaches about that. And, it's just also just while being here, I also kind of grew into kind of being a leader as well, wanting to help others. I desire to help others, whoever are in need.
Yeah. Now, over the course of the 3 years that you've been here so far, going into year 4, you've been a part of families. You've had some older guys be family leaders for you. Who in maybe your family groups in your younger years pushed you to be the best you could be as a player, as a teammate, and then ultimately into a leadership role like this?
Right off the bat, I can think of my freshman year when I first got here the first semester. I was in a family with Connor Huffman. He is pretty much our Mr. Raven himself. He was a guy who lived off our standards here at Anderson, whether that was just like encouraging his teammates. Like, he absolutely loved everyone, and I absolutely desired that from him. He also loved this campus. He always kept it cleansed. Like, see trash on the ground, picked it up. But it's just like his love for others and like how he pushed us all. Like, I see how he was lifting in the weight room all the time and kind of pushed me to be more like him.
Yeah, so that's a great example. Absolutely.
Yeah, literally pushing you in the weight room and pushing you off the field in relationships on the field to pick up trash.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. So, what's something that from the outside people wouldn't understand about being a part of our team? Like, on the outside looking in, what would you say that makes our team like unique?
Well, I'd say what a lot of people won't understand is like we absolutely love each other. We're a brotherhood. We're a family. A lot of us, we all get together to do just things. We just get together to do things together as brothers, and we really create bonds by doing so.
Yeah, it's great, and it's even cooler because you got guys from all the part of the country, from coast to coast and everything, and just to see you guys bond through other things outside of football, it says a lot.
Right.
Now, through the course of your time here, you've always been a great example, of how to live according to the standards, working really hard, doing the right things. As you stepped into the role as a family leader and you've worked on becoming more vocal in your leadership as well too, how has this role changed you or helped you to develop, in any way?
For sure, it has helped me grow out of my shell. I've always been an introvert. I've always kind of kept quiet to myself. I'll talk to a few guys every now and then, but stepping up as a family leader, like, it pretty much has like forced me to get uncomfortable and start talking more to my teammates, and with that it helped me build more bonds. Like, I just remember my freshman year, I was kind of to myself. The only people I'd really talk to is offensive guys, but then I almost couldn't stand defensive players going up against them every day. But But once I kind of got into leadership a little more, got to be a leader, I got to be more vocal, and I talked to more defensive players over my time here, and I pretty much just love anyone here now.
Yeah. You got a defensive player in particular that you love?
Man, it's really hard for me to choose. I just pretty much love them all.
There you go. All right, that's good.
There's a few that may be a little chippy, but hey, still gotta love them.
Yes.
So this is going into your senior year. All right, you've been here with us from the start. You know, so you've seen a lot of different type of leaders. All right, and you're a leader yourself. You know, since you've been here, well, for yourself more so, do you see yourself leading a freshman different than how you may lead a senior or an upperclassman per se?
There may be a slight difference with how I lead like freshmen compared to seniors. Freshmen, they're like very new to the program, so I like to take the time to help them out, learn like their assignments, help them learn the playbook, help them learn technique. With seniors, I kind of expect them to like know like our playbook. Not all seniors will have technique down, but you could always still help them out with that. But yeah, really, it's just kind of with freshmen, you're just kind of bringing them in, trying to help them get used to what we do here. And then seniors, it's pretty much just keeping them accountable. Not saying you don't keep freshmen accountable,
Right.
you do the same thing, but
Yeah.
seniors, you just want to keep accountable and make sure they're doing the right things that they've been taught here.
Yep, no, I get that a lot. I totally understand that. And I think it's great because, and also in a way, like, you get to be something that you didn't have when you got here, you know? So that says a lot.
Now we've got some, recruits listening, that might be interested in joining our program. What do you want them to know?
To all you recruits who are coming in, just want to let you know everyone here will love you, and you have a great coaching staff that will always support you. They take the time to really get to know you, and they for sure will help you out in many ways that you need. I've had to use Coach's air pump many times. Been grateful to have Coach. Not my jacket. Thanks, Coach. But yeah, they're always going to love you. They're always going to be giving. The coaches here will, always be giving.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you being here. We've been excited to, get to do this thing with you for these first 3 years. Excited as you go into your senior year for you to continue to grow and develop as a leader, of our program on the field in everything that you do. Definitely excited to attack this next year with you.